Hey there YouTube, this is Here to Learn 442. Got some ammo loaded up for my 18-inch precision AR-15 platform rifle. I'm going to go out and see what's going to work the best. If you've watched my last video, you know that I got a hold of some different weights of projectiles for that rifle. And I'm going to go ahead and take some of these loadings out to the range. This here is my 55 grain extreme full metal jackets that I use for my plinking rounds. I'm going to use them as a control. Got a bag of them here. They're mixed head stamp. That's one difference between those and the rest of these cartridges that I've reloaded. The other difference is the overall length is 2.24 inches, whereas the rest of these are sitting at 2.26 inches. That said, they're using the same powder, they're using the same primers, and the rest of these, outside of these plinking rounds, they're using, each batch is using the same type of brass. So here we have the 62 grain arms core, which I don't expect to do very well. It is just a standard full metal jacket with a crimp cannula. Different weights of projectiles have different minimums and maximums for the charge weights for this powder. Like I said, they're all using IMR 4895. So for the 62 grains, I have 4 groups of 5 rounds each, and they are in hot shot brass. Now, all of this hot shot brass that I have is 5.56 brass. It is not the 223. I know Hot Shot makes both, but I personally bought this ammunition boxed and shot it, and so these reloaded cartridges, the cases are all cases I picked up from my own shooting. Moving on, we have the Nosler Custom Competition 69 grain hollow point boat tail. We have 1, 2, 3 sets of those. Each of these bags has 5 shots, so we'll get 5 shot groups out of them. And the 69 grain has a tighter set of tolerances for powder weight, so that's why we only have 3 bags here. We move on, we have the Hornady 75 grain boat tail hollow points, and this has a pretty wide variety of charge weights that are acceptable. That is from the Lee reloading manual, and so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bags of 5 each, so we get 7 5-shot groups for those. And then we have the Sierra. They're a 77 grain hollow point boat tail, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 bags of those, different charge weights. So the Sierras, the Hornadys, the Noslers, they are all using Lake City brass. I didn't have quite enough Lake City brass to load the arms core in, so the arms core is sitting in the hot shot brass, as I said. So I went to the range today after having not been for quite a while, and set up at 100 yards with my 18-inch precision AR-15, and this was my first 20 shots of the day. As you can see, we came in at 2.93 inches. This was with my 55 grain extreme full metal jacket rounds. I can do better than this with them before. I've pulled them down to close to 1 MOA, if not 1 MOA before. But I haven't, like I said, I haven't been out to the range too often lately. So this was to start me off for the day. And then I wanted to test my rounds that I had loaded up. see what would be the most consistent in my particular AR-15 pattern rifle. Yours may be different. Yours most certainly will be different, because your rifle is not mine and it doesn't have the same components. Anyway, so this first target, I took shots on the targets at the corners, top corner left, top corner right, center, bottom corner left, bottom corner right, and that's how I went about it. So I did another control group here. This was 10 shots of the 55 grain extreme, and we came in with a 10 shot group at 2.9 inches. Again, this is all at 100 yards. We did have a light wind today. Then I moved on. Everything from here on out will be 5 shot groups. I moved on to the 62 grain arms core full metal jacket. That was the bulk pack from Midway. And everything is using IMR 4895 for a powder. So use 23.2 grains of powder, and we ended up with this group, which had a couple flyers here, and I'm sure they were probably my fault, but we ended up with 3.6 inches. And if we were to just look at this 3 shot group, that's within 1 MOA. It's within 1 inch. But we're going with the overall 3.6 inch. Anyway, moving on to 24 grains, we ended up with a 3.8 inch group, opened up huge. We came down here to 24.9 grains, and it tightened up a little bit, 2.75 inches. Now these are measured with a set of calipers. And then moving over here to the compressed, slightly over max charge weight in my book load of 25.9 grains. We came out to a 1.9 inch group. So that was the best group out of all of the arms core, but that's only for the 4. That doesn't include this flyer. So if you include that flyer, which I'm sure was my fault, but it's there anyway, we come out to a 4 inch group. I didn't expect the arms core to do real well. It's fairly cheap, not as cheap as the extreme, but the performance seems to be about on par with the extreme. So I'll keep buying that for quite a bit cheaper for plinking rounds anyway. Moving on, then moved on to what will be from here on out will all be Lake City brass. The arms core was in hot shot, and all of the 55 grain extreme was in mixed headstand brass. I didn't sort any of it, but everything from here on out is Lake City brass. So we went with the 69 grain nozzler and 23.5 grains of IMR 4895. Came out with this 1.5 inch group. Once again, this is all at 100 yards. Light wind. Moved over here, the nozzlers with 23.9 grains of IMR 4895. Came out to 1.6 inch group. And then we moved to the 69 grain nozzlers with a 24.8 inch or 24.8 grains of IMR 4895, and the group opened up considerably to 2.6 inches. Then we got into the Hornadies, 75 grain Hornadies, 21 grains gave us a 1.75 inch group, and 21.4 grains gave us a 1.5 inch group. .8 grains, IMR 4895 gave us a 1.4 inch group. 22.4 grains
That right there, 0.8, 0.8. So that's under 1 inch, that's under 1 MOA. So either I was doing better with my fundamentals or that's a better loading. We move down here to 23 grains Weimar 4895 with that 75 grain Hornady hollow point boat tail, and we get this 1.2 inch group. But that's with this flyer here. Without this flyer, that was 4 rounds, and those 4 rounds came out to 0.257 inches. So just over a 1/4 inch group, and that's measured with the calipers. So this loading has the potential to be a great loading, and this one as well. Then we move down here to 23.4 grains of IMR 4895 with those Hornadies. Got 1.3 inch group, and at 24 grains we end up with 2.5 inch groups. So that opened up quite a bit. Once again, this is at 100 yards. This is at the 100-yard range. Now we moved on from here to the 77 grain Sierra Match Kings, which I thought would do the best. They are definitely the most expensive and have probably the best reputation. So we had 77 grain Sierra Match King hollow point boat tails in Lake City brass. Same overall length as the rest of these precision rounds. This was 20.15 grains of IMR 4895, and we ended up with a 1.3 inch group. Moving over here, we had 20.85 grains and came in with a 1.7 inch group. With 21.8 grains, came in with a 1.9 inch group. And with 22.9 grains, came in with a 1.6 inch group. So I'm actually kind of happy about this result. It means that the Sierras, which are the most expensive of the projectiles that I tested, are not going to be the best for my rifle. At least that's what this test shows. Maybe I just need more trigger time more often. But I think for now I'm going to stick with the 75 grain Hornadys, and I'm going to try and play around with some different loadings between 22.4 grains and 23 grains and see if I can get consistently this kind of precision and repeatability. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative. As always, keep learning and share your knowledge. Thanks for watching.